Have you ever tried to lose weight on your own? How'd that go? Were you successful? Were you not successful? Were you frustrated at the process? Were you probably using the wrong strategy? Welcome to Brown Performance's weekly coaching newsletter. Today's topic is going to be the hierarchy of fat loss. Now, my hierarchy of fat loss is just something that I've noticed and observed. So there's research behind each strategy, but not necessarily a ton of research behind my observations. So again, this is my opinion, not necessarily research backed on a hierarchy. I'm going to start from the worst and go all the way to the best because I want the best possible way to burn fat to be ingrained in your mind and the last thing you hear from me. So let's get into it. The number one way, or the last way, or the least effective way to burn fat is to cut calories. And that's what most people tend to try out when they're first trying to burn off that stubborn love handle. Yes, we've been told in media and the masses that you need to eat less and move more. That's only part of the truth. Cutting calories is only going to get you so far because it manipulates our biology in a not so great way. Basically, cutting calories, when you cut calories to an extent, our bodies adjust for that lack of calories, slow metabolism down to try to conserve energy. So you end up, if you've ever done this, you've probably found that you hit a wall after about 5, 10, maybe 20 pounds, depending on how much weight you really need to lose for a somewhat less, for someone who doesn't need to lose as much weight. You may see it at 5 or 10 pounds. For someone who needs to lose a little bit more weight, you might see it at 20 pounds. Just depends. Our next least effective way, but this would be a much better way to do it than cutting calories, is eating better quality food. That's going from eating cereal for breakfast to eating an omelet, eating pizza for lunch to eating a salad. And even if you're drenching that salad in a bunch of olive oil, that'd be much better than eating that pizza. Just by switching out what you're currently eating to eating something better is going to make a world of difference. Number 3 on the list, the next best one up from the hierarchy, is to eliminate wheat and sugar. I actually already hinted to this in the previous tip, but wheat and sugar tend to up our insulin levels. And insulin, if you've watched some of my previous tips or seen somebody else's tips on this, insulin is a fat-storing hormone. So if you're constantly eating wheat products or sugar products, you're going to be constantly, number one, in a cycle of insulin being high and then therefore storing body fat. And number 2, you're burning carbohydrates for fuel. And when you do that, you're typically hungry in about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, and you need to eat again. It keeps you in this long loop or vicious cycle of needing more and more and more carbs. And not only that, eating sugar and sometimes wheat for some people, you have this dopamine type response in the brain telling you to eat more of it. So you're just becoming this like addicted state. I know I have my weaknesses with that. I absolutely love ice cream. It usually gets the best of me. I make sure I don't keep in the house for the most part because I know that is going to be, something that I have to try to stay away from. And if I have a thing of ice cream, it's going to get eaten. Not a good sign, right? Our next one on the list is carb cycling. Carb cycling is basically alternating days of the week where you have no carbs or very low carb days in your diet, and then days where you have a moderate or high amount of carbs. Those carbs are not to be confused with having wheat or sugar. Those are usually fruit and vegetable-based carbohydrates. This typically manipulates days of low insulin levels with days of higher insulin levels, and it manipulates other hormones like leptin that help produce a fat-burning effect. Number 2, our second most effective way on the list, is intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is just flat out not eating for a period of time. Are we going to do this for an extended period of time? No. But you're going to do it for and there's different protocols for it. You could do it 24 hours, a couple times a week. You could do have an 8-hour feeding window with 16 hours of fasting every single day. You could do a 4-hour eating window with 20 hours of fasting every single day. Typically, the longer the fast, the better, but you can go with what you're comfortable with and what you're going to see results with. Basically, we're manipulating keeping insulin levels low so that the fat storing hormones can come into effect and keep you fat burning all day long. With that said, we do not want to be in a high calorie restricted state, meaning we're not trying to cut calories when you do this. If you're only having 2 or 3 meals within the day, if you typically eat 2,000 calories of high quality food, not poor quality food, but high quality food, you want to make sure that we're eating those calories in those fewer meals. So you're going to basically take, if you're eating 6 meals a day and you're going to drop it down to 2 or 3, you want to make sure those calories are getting divvied up between the 2 meals. And the best one to use to burn fat is a ketogenic diet. A ketogenic diet manipulates, or I should say, it restricts carbohydrate intake. There's literally has been no diseases that I'm aware of that you get from eating no calories, or eating no carbs, to be corrected there. Eating no carbs. This manipulates, again, a ketogenic diet, just back up, a ketogenic diet is eating a moderate amount of protein with a high amount of fat and low carbs. It took under like 50 grams or 25 grams depending on the protocol. What this does is it manipulates the fat storing hormone insulin, keeps it low, and it also, actually that's primarily what it does, and also because our body runs on 2 fuel sources, carbohydrates and fats, we start utilizing fats to burn. And what do we want to burn at the end of the day when we're trying to lose weight? We want to burn the love handles. We want to burn that cellulose, that fat that is under the skin, and that's going to be the primary way that you can do that. Thank you for listening to my abnormally long video coaching newsletter with my hierarchy of fat loss. If you've enjoyed the video and you think this could help someone lose a few pounds, please share it with them. If you'd like to know how you can get my help on your journey, please shoot me an email at adam.fitness.revolution@gmail.com, or you can always send me a direct message on social media. That's fine too. I check them regularly. Also, you can join my social media community, or my Brown Performance community on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.